So glad you're streaming with us. Well, drag queens across the country are saying that their community is being attacked as conservative states are looking to ban drag shows in any public space that minors could be. And now Tennessee is the first state to actually pass a law doing just that. The White House says it's dangerous and unnecessary, especially during a time LGBTQ Americans are facing higher risks of violence and being targeted for who they are. But many queens are not going down without a fight, including Hunter Malone, a.k.a. Poly Tics, Lexington, Kentucky-based performer, dressed head to toe in fabulous and sparkly glam, and testified before Kentucky lawmakers looking to pass a similar bill.
This bill not only compromises or asks me to explain my humanity, but it also brings into question my livelihood. As a drag performer who depends on drag shows and drag performances for income, this bill not only tells me that I am not really a human worthy of rights, but I'm also not worthy to work, and I'm not deserving of an ability to make money.
Hunter Malone, a.k.a. Poly Tics, joining me now live. Okay, where's my sparkly glam? I'm very disappointed, Hunter.
I know. I do unfortunately work a day job, so trying to balance that schedule out a little bit.
Fair enough. All right. Look, Hunter, what made you want to testify, especially dressed in drag?
I've always thought that when legislation is written or discussed about a certain population, it's important that those people are in the room and are able to really respond to those legislative actions so that the folks that are going to eventually pass these bills can hear firsthand from the folks that it'll be impacting.
So if passed, this bill would prohibit drag shows on public property or in places where the adult performances could be viewed by children. What impact do you think this will have on your community?
The impacts of this bill, if it was to pass, would be so far spread, and some of the impacts we actually aren't able to fully understand. One of the biggest things that we've heard a lot of conversations about recently is the impact that it would have on pride festivals. Currently, the Kentucky Pride Festival in Lexington is held outdoors. It's very public. It's a family function event. And it's something that happens every year and is really good for building morale and just letting the LGBT plus community know that we're here to support each other and that we still matter, and it's important for us to have our voices seen. So if this bill was to pass, that would have to go away. We would have to move those festivals behind closed doors. We would have to get really restrictive of who could see and partake in certain pride festivals. And not only that, it would just be a big regression, putting drag queens back in the closet.
Right. So let me ask you, do you think your act is family friendly?
I do. I think drag is an art, and certain art can be adapted for different audiences. In the same way that theater can be adapted. There are certain theatrical performances that work really well for families and small children. And there's also certain theatrical performances that you're going to want a certain age group for. So I think drag is definitely one of those art forms that can be tailored to the audience. And if children are going to be in that audience, then we can put on a wonderful show of love and inclusivity that's still age appropriate.
I love it. And what do you say to those conservatives, or maybe even those that aren't conservative? They just think that you are too sexy for their kids. What do you tell them?
I really think that they have the wrong impression of what drag is. There was a lot of people in that room that were talking about this bill that had never actually been to a drag show. Their ideas of drag came from misguided internet articles and some news sources that were less than credible. So to them, I would just say, before you start making bills about these people's livelihood and about our lives, talk to us, meet with us, and really get to know some of the people that these bills are going to impact, because you'll find that we're not that different than a lot of people. We're just there to have fun. We're there to spread joy and love again. And these bills would really have a catastrophic effect on that.
Yeah, you're so right, Hunter. And, you know, there's this increase in threats, the violence and legislation against drag queens and the community. It goes to show how resilient, you know, the queer community really is. And not everybody, you know, can keep it going. What empowers you?
You know, the queer community is no stranger to hate, and we're no stranger to legislation that's really harmful to our community. I draw a lot of inspiration from Stonewall. I think that there's a lot to be learned from that movement and it being the birthplace of LGBT plus rights. I draw a lot of inspiration from that, but also just other people in my community. This fight can get tiring. It can get really daunting. The internet trolls, the people that are commenting hateful things, it really can bring you down. And so relying on my community, the other performers that I know and love, relying on each other is really impactful, and it really lifts my spirits and just reminds me that the fight's not over yet. We're not going down without a fight, and there's still a lot of hope to hold on to.
So true. And I'm just curious, because we've talked a lot about this while covering just the violence against the community, is that a lot of safety plans have had to be put in place now. There's even wrestlers, Worldwide Federation wrestlers coming forward saying they want to protect your shows. You know, what type of plan do you go by before you perform? And is it still a big concern for you, just thinking about your safety before a show?
It is. Safety is a really big thing to think about. We're seeing a lot of hate and a lot of violence increase. And so for me and all of my performers that I know, our safety plans rely heavily on information. So we let each other know when we're going to certain shows. We make sure to know the venue well, know the ins and the outs, where to escape if we need to. But then also trying to go in groups. So if I can drive or ride with somebody, so that way when we're walking into these venues, if we are in makeup and hair, we're not as isolated. And I think for different performers, they're relying on different means to protect themselves. I know a lot of performers are now carrying mace or pepper spray. Some are even starting to take self-defense classes in the local community. And that's something that here in Lexington, we're having to talk amongst ourselves about. Do performers want to enroll in self-defense classes? Is that something we could potentially partner with local police departments and ask them to help increase that safety, because it is such an important thing to think about?
Well, it breaks my heart that you even have to think about that, and that every time you want to perform, you've got to worry about violence against your art. Hunter Malone, sure appreciate your time. We will stay in touch, and you better let us know when you're coming here to D.C. for a show.
Yes, I would love to.
We will all be there.
Thank you.
Thanks, Hunter.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.